Hey everybody, welcome to Power Hour with me, Ron Harris, and Giles Tiger Thomas. Today we're going to be talking about the FIBO Power Show coming up this Saturday in Cologne, Germany. Giles, I don't know if you were surprised. Maybe Andrew Jack told you, but I was very, very surprised when that list came out and it said Chenedo Obika on there. You have a little inside scoop on Andrew. You did the tour with them, and I know you guys talk here and there. So did you know that Andrew was doing FIBO?
No, I did not. So I actually messaged him today, and he was very brief because normally he sends like 2-3 minute voice notes back, but he was very brief, obviously, because I think he's busy and he's traveling or whatever. Yeah, I was really shocked because he told me his plans and they didn't include FIBO. And the original plans he had made sense to sort of, sort of get well, I hate to say easy qualification, but get a qualification, get it done out the way so we could then, focus on the Olympia because he's top 5. So, you don't want to be going through 5-6 shows to try and get a qualification. So yeah, I was shocked. I was really surprised because the show he said he was doing originally is in a couple of months. So he must have. I mean, and I saw some of the pictures and videos on his Instagram, and he didn't, look like he'd obviously lost a bit of conditioning from the Arnold. So I thought, okay, he's going to go into like a mini off season, and then he'll be getting ready for the show that he said he was going to do. So yeah, I was a bit shocked. I'm just wondering why. Maybe he just thought, okay, I'm in condition, and obviously maybe saw the lineup and thought, do you know what? Because the other show might have been a relatively easy qualification for a top 5 Olympia guy. But So when he said that, when I saw that, I thought, okay, he's obviously changed his plans. He's obviously in good nick, and probably thought, oh well, may as well, maybe just. I think it was a spur of the moment thing, personally. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I love conspiracy theories, so I think he saw all these people going into Pittsburgh, and I bet he wants to do Pittsburgh, and so this is a great way to set the stage and go into Pittsburgh with a win. He's already qualified for the Olympia, and then he can go up against Derek and Nick Walker and Martin and Prizo. So that's what I think he's up to. I think he's going to do Pittsburgh now.
No, I don't think so. I'd be very, very shocked because you'd have to go up against Derek, Nick, Martin. These are 3 guys that have all kind of placed ahead of him. So I think he just wants to get his qualification done out the way, and then maybe he's changed his plans. Maybe he wants to take a vacation, or he wants to have a bit of time off, before he starts getting ready for the Olympia, because the show he told me he was doing, actually, no, it wouldn't. It would have been okay.
China.
I think. Sorry.
China. Didn't you say he was thinking about doing that show in China?
Yeah, in June. Yeah. So I was a bit. So I just thought that was in late end of June. So I think sometimes if you stay on prep, and you maybe don't back off on, you do sort of carry on with the dieting and stuff. And maybe because I think because he said he's in condition all year round, not like contest condition, but he doesn't go far out. I remember once I was getting ready for the British finals, and it was a 12-week prep. And then just under 5 weeks out, I decided to do a show 5.5 weeks into my prep. And I was looking down, I was thinking, I'm shredded. So, I think maybe he's just thought, okay, well, why do I need to, sort of, maybe I can just bring my plans forward and I'll just jump in this show. Realistically, he's going to win, isn't he?
Yeah. And I mean, we'll get into the lineup, and I was kind of disappointed for Sergio because I really was hoping this could be a win for Sergio. But before we stop talking about Andrew, I want to show you that the Olympia. Did you ever get the story? Because I've heard several versions of what happened with his music. Did they cut off his music? Did they give him the wrong music? Because it was pretty awkward.
Yeah, well, it was. They said they heard curse words. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Yeah.
No, they picked up on some curse words. And that's why they pulled it. So yeah, that was it. I mean, he told the story several times on the tour because I think that was one of the first things that people were asking.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, that was a really shocking thing when it happened. But so Andrew is the favorite to win. I mean, 5th in the world. He's won the Arnold UK. He's top seeded guy. I'm a little upset because, I like Andrew, but I was really hoping Sergio Oliva Jr. could come back and get a win because he's, correct me if I'm wrong, he's only had one pro win, his first pro show, 2017 New York Pro, and he hasn't done many pro shows. We haven't seen him since it's been almost 2 years, spring of 23 at the Cali Pro. So this was supposed to be a really good comeback for Sergio. And then when I saw Andrew, and I hate to say, well, Sergio can't beat Andrew, but on paper, it would be very, very difficult for Sergio Oliva to beat Andrew Jack. Agree or disagree? Giles. Can you hear me, Giles? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you're breaking up there really bad. Yeah, you're really bad. This fiber optic is shite.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I to be honest, I had him kind of winning before Andrew jumped in. So yeah, I think he's he did apparently said on Dennis James's podcast that he wanted some real competition. So be careful what you wish for, because now he's got a top 5 Olympia guy that realistically, Andrew's never really come in off. So I think and Andrew wouldn't come into this unless he was ready. So yeah, I think he'll be second, but I kind of see Andrew being the clear winner here.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I want to show you the last update for just let me show you what he's looking like, and you tell me what you think his condition was like. He's still going to be a very, very good competitor. So this was yesterday or the day before, right here. This is front double. He hasn't posted a back shot.
He looks really good.
Go ahead.
I think he looks really good. He looks really, really good. Because I saw one update a few weeks ago, and I was thinking, shit, he needs to put his foot down now. But this update, yeah, I was like, okay, he's really brought it in. He's really kind of ready now. So, and I was kind of seeing him as because I think he would beat Sasan. Sasan's coming back and he's looking fantastic, and he had a great result in Detroit. But someone like Sergio with the size and structure, the nice wide shoulders, the small waist, I thought, okay, yeah, he's a shoo-in to win this, But obviously, then along came Mr. Jacked.
Yeah. Again, I'm bumming because I like Sergio a lot, and he's had his difficulties. He's bounced all over the world. He's been in Australia, U.S., Dubai, Spain. So I was hoping this was going to sort of be the beginning, because he's 40 years old now, which isn't ancient at all. But it's time to if you're going to make something happen, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I wonder if he, now you say 40. I wouldn't mind to see if he jumps into the Masters Olympia. How cool would that be?
Well, they came out with the list, but the list had, so the list for the Masters only had people that had applied.
Yes, I saw that.
So it was missing, Brandon Curry was not on that list. Bonac was not on that list. Kamal was not on that list. Max Charles, Phil Clayhar. And several of those people, I'm sure, are doing the show. So the full list is not out. But yeah, I agree. Masters Olympia would be a great venue for Sergio.
Yeah. It's if he's on prep and it's kind of like a few extra weeks to what he's doing, because I'm assuming he was thinking of doing. I think maybe originally he might have just been doing this one show. Maybe when he heard the kind of who was doing it and what names, and maybe thought, okay, I'm going to target that show, because until Andrew Jack came in, he was kind of like the front runner, really. He was kind of like and he's looking great in these updates. Yeah. So I'd imagine now, unless something, unless he really has improved and Andrew comes in off, we'll say, and he's gonna have to keep on prepping, isn't he? If he wants to try and qualify for the Olympia, or at least get a win. So maybe something like the Masters Olympia would be a good show for him to do. But yeah, that's interesting.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The Masters Olympia, if you win that, I think, doesn't that qualify you for the Mr. Olympia? It's a win. It's a show.
I believe so. Yeah. And you know what? I need to message Kamal, because he's not commenting on. He's not replying to comments when they say about him doing the Masters Olympia. But he is. I can see in his videos he is back training, because he kind of comes off completely. He told me in the off season, and he's obviously works on other things and grows a big beard, and and he's one of these people that really, he's like a Kevin Navroni, really once he turns it on and really bumps up the training, and starts using a bit of whatever, he kind of really responds. And I noticed he is starting to change a little bit. I mean, I'm seeing like there's a lot more going on than there was a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So that tells me, because he told me, a couple of years ago, I know they changed their mind. He told me that he was going to do 3 Masters Olympias, which are obviously every 2 years, and then he was going to retire, which would have took him up to his late 50s. So, and he's obviously the current defending champion of the Masters Olympia. So I do expect to see him in this show.
All right. Well, it's back to FIBO. So we were just mentioning Sasan. Sasan looked really good in Detroit as a runner-up to William Bonac. Condition was there. I mean, this is the best I remember him ever being. You've known him for the whole 10 years he's been a pro. And Sergio does have a superior structure. He's got those wide clavicles and narrow waist, just that natural V-taper X-frame, where Sasan is a little more compact, doesn't really have that type of structure. But condition-wise, that's where I think Sasan might be able to get Sergio. It's going to come down to that. So what do you think about the Sasan versus Sergio matchup, since we're already sort of under the assumption Andy Jack is probably winning?
Yeah, I to be honest, I kind of had Sergio, ahead of Sass. But I'm just trying to analyze his videos now. I just in my head, I just thought, okay, structurally wise, he is a lot better. But then, Sergio can be a little bit hit and miss with his conditioning, his fullness. So whereas Sasan here, like his conditioning and fullness, even though he hasn't got the same sort of crazy gifted structure that Sergio has, I've kind of got it in my head that Sergio's just a couple of feet ahead of him. So that's obviously if both guys are on. I wouldn't be absolutely shocked beyond belief if Sasan did beat Sergio, but I think Sergio, if he turns up looking anything like these updates and that translates to the stage, then personally, I think I've got Sergio just pipping Sasan. Yeah,
it's going to come down to condition, as it often does. When you get to this level, these guys are all so good; they're all so close to each other. I'm just curious if Sass has any recent updates. No, all these from Detroit. So we've seen. I guess
I'm just so happy. I'm so happy to see Sasan back, because I saw him, like I said, Spain last year, and you could see that was he was like halfway to coming back to her kind of full Sasan, the Sasan that I know he's capable of being, which he basically brought to Detroit. Because I thought, okay, he's got that. He's got pretty much nearly all his size and conditioning back now. Because like last year, it was like a run up, it was like a warm up, Yeah. So, but now he's looking. I think he could look even better than Detroit as well. Because I'll be honest, I've seen him drier than this, Yeah. And I think maybe those plus the confidence of getting a second and getting your mojo back and and obviously coming back, and I think, and obviously with it being Germany, it's only a short flight, so it's not like it's he's not flying to America to go do the Cali Pro or the New York Pro. It's going to be a lot easier for him as an athlete. So another 2 or 3, was it 2 weeks between Detroit? 3 weeks Detroit and FIBO? How many weeks?
2 weeks, I believe. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And you know what you can do in 2 weeks. And and if he's a buzzing from his second place and he's got home, then I think he's going to be better than he was in Detroit. So yeah, maybe he will beat Sergio.
Yeah, we never know. So let's take a look at the some other guys in the lineup, because I'm focusing on open men's bodybuilding at FIBO, guys, just so you know, so you're not getting upset with me later. But this is a guy that I saw. He is from where's Joseph Kvet from? Czech Republic. So he was third place at New York Pro. Oh, this is 3 hours ago. Wow.
Look at the shoulders, Ron. Look at the shoulders. Aren't they ridiculous?
Wow. Those are not jimmied up. Not at all.
Yeah, and they're stripy.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. So quality muscle. He's a big guy. He's over 6 foot. I believe this is a guy that's a farmer too. Am I right?
Yes, that's why he chooses certain shows to compete in, because he's on the farm working the rest of the year. So he's that's why you don't see him competing in that many shows. I think maybe this is why he does the April-May kind of season, like he did the New York Pro, and apparently he chooses those shows specifically because of the seasonal nature of his work. But I just, me, I just love seeing delts that have got actually detail and not just filled with the horrible shine on the side, and the big lumps and stuff, which as you know, I like to call out. Well, I don't like to call it out, but it's something I do spot, because if I can spot it, so can the judges.
Well, it's an eyesore. Put it that way. That's a good way to put it. It's just something I don't like to see. I supposedly almost all the guys use some sort of site enhancement oil, supposedly, but I don't want to see it. I don't. Yeah, that's what. but they'll also hear that they're all on 10 grams of gear a week too, and 20 hours.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet, guys.
It's just like, if they are using it, I don't want to see it. If they're using it in a clever way, whatever, I guess that's fine. But I don't want it to take away. I think with something like that, with that level of size and detail, I don't think there is a clever way to use it, because anything, unless it's going, I don't know. I've never used. Well, I don't know whether. To me, his delts look 100% real to me. He's not. To me, he's not. There's no scar tissue. There's no pinning. There's no weird sort of odd looking lumps or. So that's what happens when you don't pin things. You keep the detail, you keep the striation. Because the thing is, you spend all that time dieting and prepping and training, and then you just kind of like blow it all. Like Flex Wheeler did in 98 when he thought he started in 98, 99, he started using it. And remember all those beautiful striations he had in his shoulders and his arms, and and then they kind of lose it all. And I just think they think, oh, it's bigger, but it's bigger. You're trading off, detail and so like this guy, you're trading that off to make something basically look swollen. It doesn't even look bigger. It doesn't. There's a difference between swelling a muscle and making it bigger. It's like with insulin. Like they say, insulin's great, but very anabolic for bodybuilding. Yeah, but it fills the muscle. But does it really build it? Does it develop muscle, or does it just basically fill it out? With glycogen and carbs or whatever. And so, but to see something like this, that's absolutely awesome. So I really applaud him for that. Cool. All right. Well, that was Czech Republic's Josef Kvet, who was third place at the 2021 New York Pro.
He's good.
Let's go to
was it 21? Was it 21 4 years ago?
Yeah. Well, that's what he's got in his bio.
I think of him as more recent than that.
Me too. But I mean, time's flying, dude. We're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So this is Jordan Gomez from the United Kingdom.
Yes.
So I don't know. He looks like a shorter, compact guy. I've never seen him in person.
He's 212, isn't he?
Well, he's open in this show.
Yeah. Well, obviously there's no 212 in this show. So we thought, oh well, did a Sean Clarida. Well, if there's no 212 at the Arnold, I may as well go do the Open.
Yeah.
Because some guys like to be in these shows. So, And the thing is, as we've seen in the last kind of, 4 or 5 years, we've seen how well the 212s have done when they have jumped into Open. Yeah. And we've seen how well guys do when they go 212 to Open. I mean, I can't think of a single failure, really. When you think about it, I mean, when these guys start hopping over categories, Bumstead in the Classic and the Open last year, a good physique is a good physique. So, why not sort of try your hand and jump into these shows? Why not? Nothing to lose.
It looks like, I think he might have turned pro at this show 2 years ago from the looks of
like it. Yeah. So obviously he's got a bit of an affinity. So maybe thinking, oh, well, I turned pro there. I know what to expect. I know where it is. I know where all the food places and in the hotel. Maybe that suits, to rather than not compete, he'd rather go back to a show he's familiar with, he's got good memories of, and go do an Open show. Yeah, yes, that was before his prep.
Yeah, you actually brought up I know it sounds silly to some people, but I always like to go to places where I know where all the food is and the bathrooms.
Yeah.
So Jordan looking really good. Let's go to.
And like Sing is there's an hour flight, to Germany. So why not? Top 5.
I mean, everything in Western Europe must be within an hour flight, roughly, of
Yeah.
Tell me, am I being an ugly American, or is that true?
No. To be honest, within a couple of hours, you can pretty much go everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So from United Arab Emirates, this is Edward Cargbo. I thought Ali Edward Cargbo. I thought he had some weird nickname, but I could be wrong. So big guy. Obviously, look at those arms. Doesn't do a lot of the updates are usually with gym clothes on, so I'm not really sure what to expect. Don't know if he's did he do like the Dubai show or something last year? I'm trying to remember.
He did, and he did. He looked really good, and he did well. I think he got top 5 there, didn't he, last year?
Yeah, that's where I remember.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's really good. I like his physique actually, and I think he's one to watch because he's someone that kind of at one point, like you look at pictures and videos and you think, oh, he's good. He looks good, and then all of a sudden, they really put their foot on the gas, and then you're really sitting up and taking notice of them. Yeah. So I like those guys, because they're the ones that and thing is, he's probably when a bodybuilder goes into a contest and they get a good placing, it's what it does for their psyche, what it does for their kind of their confidence. That's why I think Derek Lunsford could potentially win everything this year, because think about the confidence he's going to be building now in his head, of like shit, the momentum they're building. And I think there's something for the old endorphins and the old internal test release. I think when you get a win or you get a good result, it's very reassuring. And that's usually when the guys really step up their game. So here's a guy I think, because I think one of the most exciting things is not just about how they place or where you think they'll place or, analyzing the show afterwards. It's where you see someone who walks on stage and they're like, wow, you're bringing something different. And you can instantly, that in the first couple of seconds, you see the results of all that hard work and you see those improvements. I think that's the one thing that I think really, gets us bodybuilding fans excited. Like when Lunsford walked out in the 22 Olympia and we'd seen him do the guest posing and he got the special invite and he walked out and it went, or Samson at the 23 Olympia when he took third, and and he just all of a sudden just looked completely different, and you're like, okay, this is not the guy this is not the version in my head that we had last year or 2 years ago. This is something new. So here's a guy. Just keep a close eye on this guy, because I think he looks like he's doing everything right. And he's kind of under the radar a little bit. So he's kind of got very little pressure on him to do, to really sort of perform here. So those are the guys that sometimes are the ones that we overlook.
Super strong, too. I mean, the smoothness is, I know it doesn't matter, but it's still impressive to see, because what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plates on a hammer strength incline. Yeah,
but I don't count. It's like saying, how much can you leg press? Well, get on the barbell squat. Let's see what you can barbell squat, because some of these machines, they're greedy with the plates, some of them, and you're like, these shrug machines, you can put 6 plates aside and you're wrapping away, but then you put on a barbell and it's 2 plates. I'm not demeaning the guy, like I said, because I can't stand all these hammer strength machines. I just think I don't gauge someone's strength by what they can put on a hammer strength chest press or stuff like that. So, like you remember when back in the day, everyone was doing those power squats and putting 10 plates aside.
Yes.
And you're thinking, I wonder what you could actually squat, maybe 4 plates tops. It's true though, isn't it? It's true, because it's ego lift. The one. It's like it's like at my gym, they've got these 5 kilo plates. Like I'm doing line extensions, and I put a 10 aside on there, put another 5, or I'm doing barbell rows, and it looks like I'm barbell rowing like 4 plates, but each one of the 5 kilo, because they're not the small 5 kilos, they're the lengthwise, they're the same size as the 20s, and I will literally go hunting around the gym to get these 5s. I do. I'm totally, and I do it, and I know because because they're thinner, so you can put more on, so they're not like the short, fat 5 kilos. Yes. So so I'm totally guilty of that, and I know a lot of other people are as well, especially when it comes to machinery. Like when they're doing push downs on the cable crossover, because then they can do the full stack. So don't get me started on a rant about gym etiquette, because I'm banging into my training at the moment, so I'm kind of very, very hot on this now. Not just injecting shoulders and stripy delts. I'm kind of I've got a few more things to add to my tiger rants.
Tiger rants, I love them. So this is our next entry. He is from Poland. His name is Mateusz Lewandowski. He turned pro in Classic, it looks like, from that post, like about a year and a half ago. And this is a recent update. So again, looks like a shorter, thicker guy. I can always sort of gauge height by the proportions of the head to the body. Go ahead.
He looks really good. But just on a side, just a question popped into my head. Are you not surprised that there's a few more Americans not doing this FIBO? Because you think about Pittsburgh and New York, they're going to be stacked. It's pretty much going to be Derek, Nick, or Martin winning those 2 shows. Let's be realistic. And then you've got guys like Crizzo and these other guys who probably, they're not going to get their qualification there. Are you not surprised that someone like Crizzo or one of these other, or maybe one of these American athletes that thought, shit, I've really got to get my qualification out the way here? Like Vito doing the Arnold South America last week. He can go to Pittsburgh now with the pressure off.
Right.
Because he doesn't have to go and win Pittsburgh to get his qualification, because he's got it in the bag. So, but you're not surprised that we had some maybe. Well, this is the argument for why Andrew Jack jumped in, isn't it?
Yeah, Andrew would have ruined it for anybody who had that bright idea, unfortunately, pretty much. But,
I think, sorry to interrupt, but think with Andrew, full well he's not going to come in off. So it's not like he's just going to make a whimsical decision, jump in, and look like he's 6 weeks out from China. Do you know what I mean? How many weeks it is, or 8 weeks or whatever. So we know he's not going to come in looking off. So I think that's why that took us by surprise, because in some of these updates, it looks like he'd come off the diet a little bit, you know?
Yeah, so Krizo, if Krizo had done this show instead of Pittsburgh, this could have been not an easy win, but Krizo versus Sergio, I think that he could have possibly beaten Sergio or him, depending on a given day and condition. Each one of them could beat the other one, but Krizo's been competing more recently than Sergio. He's a little more battle tested. He's done more pro shows. I probably would have given him the edge in that showdown, but it's going to be tough. A lot of these guys are going to have to keep going and going and going to get that Olympia qualification now.
Well, I mean, I bet Krizo. I wonder if Krizo regrets doing Pittsburgh now.
Well, he hasn't done it yet.
Because he's probably going to do. He's probably, well, let's be honest. Krizo's not going to win a New York Pro Pittsburgh. I mean, it's just pointless even trying to speculate that he will. Yeah. So he's probably going to have to go to Portugal or Legion, maybe. I can't see him going back and forth. Because apparently, I spoke to his team, and they said he doesn't like traveling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said he doesn't like traveling. So this is going to be a big imposition for him going back to America, and obviously probably thinks it's a good 2 high-profile shows, New York Pro and Pittsburgh. But look, it's looking like now with the names that are in it, he's probably not going to beat them. So he's now going to have to do 2 shows over there, come all the way back, keep prepping, and try and he's going to have to get it because we've got to get it. So we've got to see Krizo at the Olympia. I mean, there's no way we can, Krizo needs to be at the Olympia. He was like 12th, then he was 7th. Yeah. And obviously he's had the shoulder surgery, so he really is. I mean, he's at the year, he's at those nearly a year out. He did Spain last year, but he wants to come back and really redeem himself now. So he really needs to do what Andrew's done and get a qualification out of the way. So I reckon it'll be Portugal or maybe the M-Pro or something like that. He'll come in and get his qualification. So, but I'm excited to see him back anyway.
Yeah. So here is Germany's Justin Musil. I don't know how to pronounce it, guys, so you can roast me in the comments. Musiol, Musoil? I don't know. Very impressed with him at the Detroit show. He looked good. He's a young guy. Very, very massive. And the German fans in the comments when we were doing the Detroit Pro were saying, look out for Justin. I was like, yeah, whatever.
He's good. Tell you what, Ronnie's impressive from the back, mate. That rear lat spread and that rear bicep's good. Yeah. He's got good thickness, good roundness, fantastic legs. I mean, the color looks good. He looks quite polished. And if he's a young guy, he looks quite heavy as well because he looks quite, I don't know, does he look at his legs from the side? It's fantastic.
Yeah, he's thick as hell. I'm trying to find where he placed in Detroit. Trying to remember if he was top 5.
How old is he?
I'm going to take a wild guess. He looks like he's mid to late 20s. I'm just totally guessing here. I have no idea.
But yeah, he's keeping out for that. Definitely.
It says right there, morning weight was 252 in Detroit.
Yeah, he's not a small guy.
No, he's a big dude. So I wish him the best. Like I said, FIBO, it's a smaller show. There's only there's 10 guys in the show roughly. So I think Justin's got a really good chance.
He looks good. Give him a couple of years. He could be a force. I mean, the legs are fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He's impressive.
Look at that thick guy. In Valiers is awesome. All right. So we got just one more, and I think we've seen Diogo before. Diogo Nunes, not Diego. Diogo. I don't want to say who his coach is. Oh, it says here. Okay. I was going to say Milos, but people hop coaches all the time. I don't like to say, well, this was a
no, never. I've never seen that happen in the industry.
It was all the time. So this was a couple of years ago, this shot here, but Diogo's been around. He is from Portugal. And look at those shoulders.
Looks good.
Round delts.
I'm just checking for stripiness and odd lumps, which I'm hot on.
Yeah. Those are all older shots. This was 4 weeks ago. Yeah. Looks like he'll be ready. Big guy.
Looks good. Looks really good. Mm-hmm.
You've probably seen him a couple times over there.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't recognize him. I recognize the name, but I don't recognize the physique. So, because the thing is, his physique looks really good, and I feel like if I'd seen this guy on stage, I would have remembered him. So that tells me that he's improved. That tells me he's put on a lot of size because now this is a physique that I think I would remember. That right shoulder looks a bit suspect though. It does. I spotted it when in the rear. If you look in the rear relaxed, have a look at the way the side delt's sticking out. You know, I mean, it's like back in the 90s, back in the like 99, it was when everyone started sticking synthol in their biceps and their shoulders and everything. I just wish this is a trend, like, you know, and then in the early 2000s, all the guys were starting to get big guts. But now I just wish that's the one thing I wish they would stop is the jab in the delts.
Yeah, to me that looks. I see what you're saying. To me, it looks like that. Yeah, I saw it. So that because you know I used to pin in the delts before I ran out of. I filled it up with scar tissue and the gear wouldn't go in anymore. It looks to me like just some
naughty.
That's what I mean.
I do my 1 shot a week now, and it goes green all the way in my glute, literally up to the hilt, because I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Yeah, but I mean, my glutes. MRI shows my glutes are actually 94% scar tissue now. 6% muscle. That's all it's left.
Yeah, I remember the first time I did it. Yeah, I remember my first show, there was a shot somebody took on the stage. It was like I was doing a side chest, and it was the angle, and literally it looked like I had a third glute, and that was from all the Winstrol I was injecting in my ass. I
remember. I can beat that one. Third glute sounds bad, but my glutes were so. It was always the same, that upper outer quadrant, right? Where you can reach. You could actually see my glutes from the front. When I never do
that. I do the side.
Yeah, the side? No, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, there's too many nerve endings in there.
No, I don't. I was doing that. I sit on the toilet. I sit on the toilet or a chair, and I literally do it in the side. And to be honest, I don't even feel the pinprick now because it's got that much scar tissue from all the decades of pinning.
I have my own system.
But I never do that because I've seen people do that. I can't reach. And you know, if I was obviously the big guys, they can't reach. So you know.
Well, you know, full disclosure, my wife does my TRT shots now, and everything goes in my lats. Because I have plenty of room for scar tissue formation. Yeah, a local bodybuilder told me he said that's where he's pinning it. I go, oh, I never thought of that, and I looked into it. Like I said, I don't want to risk nerve damage or something horrific happening. But apparently, that's if you go right on the outer edge of the lats, that's fine. If you're going in from the side, it's okay. So that is the FIBO
pulling
power.
A Lunsford, we call it. Ron, we call that pulling a Lunsford.
Well, I still don't have lats like Derek. I don't know why. You'd think by now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You've been 100 shots.
I'm glad he stopped. I'm glad he stopped doing that because that Yuri won the Olympia. It did look. It was the one thing that was kind of distracting in a bad way. You know.
You talk about the lumps that he had in his lats from the front. Yeah,
that was good. That's basically was pinning the lats, wasn't it?
Fair enough. I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, we know what's used in this industry. So. Like you said, over this past weekend over in Sao Paulo, Brazil, we had Vitaly Ogolnikov, a.k.a. GoodVito, pick up his first pro win at the show Arnold South America, where he was third last year behind Rafael Brandao and Antonio Burton. I'll show you his posing, and you tell me, I don't know if you recall what he looked like last year, but what improvements do you see or not see?
I saw improvements all over, to be honest. I thought he looked absolutely fantastic. I think right now he has probably the best lower body in the Pro League because it's not just size. He's got separation. He's got condition. He's got detail. And it's not just like a matter of having good quads and then his hamstrings or he's got no adductors or, you know, his calves. His whole lower body is I mean, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. He's blown my mind, to be honest. The upper body definitely improved. I think this was a smart show for him to do because there was obviously no big names, really anyone to really give him any hassle. But yeah, I heard he's 27, so he's really he's doing the job that he needs to do. He's improving. He's bringing something new every year. Should he do Pittsburgh though? Because I don't see him getting any higher than 6th in Pittsburgh.
Well, let's think about it. Obviously, we know Derek's probably going to win. Then you got Nick Walker and Martin. Nick and Martin are probably going to be 2 and 3, or
correct,
whatever.
Correct, yeah, 100%.
Bonac, he'll be up there somewhere in the top 5. You got Krizo. He can't beat.
I spoke to someone kind of in the Pro League, and we were just chatting, just friends and stuff. And he said, well, I think potentially he could beat Krizo, but I still think Krizo will beat him. But thing is, what have you got to lose? when you've got a qualification, you're already committed to a show that really is a new show, and it's important to support these new shows as well. It's not just because it's the Mannion show and it's got big prize money, and it's kind of, it annoys me sometimes when you see guys dropping out of shows because, oh, well, I've got my qualification now, but, then they've already committed, which obviously, is it's not good for the promoters for that to happen. It must be very stressful. That would really annoy me. So it's good that he's probably still going to do it unless we get some mysterious injury or something like that, popping out of nowhere. But I think he's good. I think he's still 1 or 2 years away from being able to even compare to someone like Nick or Derek or Martin or even Bonac. Do you know what I mean? I think obviously we know there's levels to this sport. And I think he's had a fantastic show, and he's got his qualification. He's golden. He's good to go. And anything he gets now at Pittsburgh, even if it's just exposure, and Che comes in like a little bit fuller and looks even better, even if he doesn't get the placing, obviously he wants, which, I mean, imagine him not making top 5 will be disappointing for him. It'll be a win if he comes in even, because to be honest, his legs are really, really hard and dry. But if you look at his back, not that picture, I remember there was a picture on the Arnold South America page, and there was somebody was tanning his back, and the skin was really kind of not there. That there was body fat. There was body fat. He wasn't rock hard like you'd expect. You know what I mean? So he can still get harder. So maybe I'd like to just see him just do Pittsburgh and come in a little bit drier, and But what a sensation! But I think upper body wise is still below his lower body. But
wow,
I think honestly, I do think another couple of years, I think he's going to be. I think he could be up there, battling it out with the likes of Martin, Nick, and Derek.
Look at this. This was only 7 years ago.
Wow.
He has definitely put on some. So this is 2019, 2022.
Awesome.
2024.
My God, yes, he's really improved.
Good Lord. Okay.
He's seriously improved.
We were, I was on another podcast a couple nights ago, and the one thing that obviously he needs a little more back thickness, but his posing is something that really could stand to improve. Like look at how he's hitting this crab, and you barely see his chest.
Yeah, but that's like a trap over, isn't it? That's like the old school trap overs. Because the thing is, he doesn't have the thickest chest.
True.
He's like if you actually look at him, his structure is incredible. I think if you in a frontal bicep, he's got a better structure than Nick Walker, but he doesn't have the thickness and size. That's where he'll get exposed when he stands next to a Martin, a Derek, or a Nick, or even a Bonac. So, but if you look at him, he's got nice wide shoulders. His chest is kind of full and wide, but he needs just more development, more maturity, more thickness certainly in the. I mean, and you look at him when he turns, like his arms look great there, but look at him when he turns to the side. You can see like his triceps lack a bit of development. His arms look great there when he hits the pose, but when he's transitioning, and also like you can see he's lacking a bit of like size in the arms, and also he's got a bit of lacking a bit of detail, but like Derek did, like at the even when he won the Olympia, he was lacking a bit of detail in the chest and the shoulders. And I just think, okay, more time served in the gym. I mean, imagine if he got his upper body to match those legs. I mean, that's going to be a top 6 Olympia guy. Yeah.
Do you think he was trying to be 100% for this show?
I don't think he would think about not coming 100%. I mean, it's just like his midsection when he hits the ab shot, his legs. I mean, he's in good condition, but he could definitely be better. He could definitely be harder. But for this was a clear win. I thought. I don't think the other guy even came close to him.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect that they brought him in. Chris Cito's his coach. I suspect that because they know he's doing Pittsburgh, he's already committed to that. That this is no disrespect. These guys are good. They're just they're not at the level of the people he's going to be standing on stage with at Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I think they knew 90% could win this fairly easily, and it did. Other guys look good.
But Ron, again, why didn't we see any of the major names doing this show as a way to qualify?
In fact, there was only one person in that show who wasn't from Brazil, and he was from another South American country. I can't recall what it was. So it was all local guys. I don't exactly. Why didn't they're I mean, Krizo could have gone to that. He could have won that. I mean, Krizo's really on my mind because he's in such great shape right now.
Yeah. I mean, say Regan had got ready earlier. Like, this would have been a good show for him to do because he probably, would you think he'd have beaten Vito?
Regan in top condition, probably.
Yeah. I mean, thing is, you'd have to look at the list and look at who's really looking to compete and qualify this year. But I'm telling you, it's going to be after the New York Pro in Pittsburgh, I think it's going to be a real battle for these guys to get qualifications. The thing is, you've got guys like Nathan Diasha that aren't just looking to qualify; they're looking to win shows to make prize money. You're going to have Dubai that's going to have all the top. You're going to have Beirut, the current, and then you're going to have all the other names who are looking to pick up, who aren't even worried about winning it. They're worried about picking up some decent prize money, because a lot of these guys as well, they'll have contracts that maybe have got 50% or 100% bonus for everything they make. Like with Bruley back in the day when I got him that contract for BSN. Yeah. They were giving him bonuses for every show he did. So I think it was, I can't remember. I don't think I was privy to the actual amount, but sometimes they'll say, right, okay, whatever you win prize money, we'll give you 50%. So if you go and do 3 or 4 shows, you go win 20K or 30K, or you get second at Dubai and you win 50, then you've got another 25. And then that basically pays for all the, the tax that they would take off you. So it's a good payday.
I do know in some cases with some companies, they would match the prize money.
Yeah.
If you win 50,000, they'll give you another 50,000. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the calendar for May. It's going to be rough because Pittsburgh is May 10th. We know probably
Derek and Nick. Ron. Sorry to interrupt. Derek. We know that Derek's winning Pittsburgh. We know that Nick's probably going to win New York. So that's those 2 guys. I know that Derek's qualified for life and everything, but. You know that no one's getting past those 2 guys unless they mess up. And I don't think that would happen.
So then it's going to become, it's 2 more shows, 2 weekends. The Cal State is the weekend after that.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I forgot about Cal.
Cal State, and then you have Reno, or the Legion Sports in Reno the weekend after that. So I don't necessarily think Martin's going to keep going after Pittsburgh.
Martin's qualified.
That's what I'm saying, but he didn't need to do Pittsburgh either.
Oh, so yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I could see him going to New York to get a rematch against Nick, and because it was close last year.
Yeah, because for me, the real contest is between Nick and Martin, because I think Derek's. I don't think he'd be stupid enough to come in less than 100%. Plus, he's riding high. He's really. I mean, I can't imagine how good Derek feels. Do you know what? I love seeing these rise and falls. Because. Like when Derek got 3rd at the Olympia last year, and people saying, many of us, we thought he should have been 4th because the way Martin looked at the finals.
Right.
Can you imagine how shit he felt? He's Mr. Olympia 1 minute, and the next minute people are saying he shouldn't even be top 3. And he knew probably full well he wasn't at his best, because you could see what you see in the mirror. I don't know when it went wrong, whether it was the last week or the last month or whatever, and then to bounce back and then beat the current Mr. Olympia. I mean, and also $500,000. Could you imagine how much self-belief that guy has right now? I mean, hearing rumors that he was even maybe thinking of doing New York Pro. Maybe he's just like don't piss this guy off. When Ronnie got beat by Gunter and they just come back like just something else. Like the fact that Derek is coming back now. I mean, theoretically he could win Pittsburgh, New York, the Olympia. I mean, it would really be something for the bodybuilding history books if he really goes all out. But because I mean, 100%, I think he's the lock. I think he's going to be the best in because I was training at a gym in Leeds the other week, and in between sets on the leg press, I was looking up and they had the Arnold on, and it was on a huge screen, and it was the live stream. And seeing him on that big screen, I fully appreciated how good he was at that Arnold Classic and how good he is now. I was absolutely blown away. I was like, oh shit! I mean, it was a clear win. I thought it was closer when I watched it on the screens and stuff. But honestly, when I saw it on the big screen, I was like, holy shit, this guy is really taken everything to a whole new level. So I think it's So what we saw. So basically, when it comes to qualifying, it's gonna be a bit of a scramble, I think.
I mean, it's great for the fans because so many guys want to qualify and they don't want to keep prepping all damn year to do it. So we're going to get all those shows are going to have great lineups. They're just going to drop. The only people that'll be missing were whoever just won the weekend before.
Yeah.
Basically. And so you have 4 in a row, and then Dubai is second weekend in June. So all those shows are going to have great lineups, I think.
China, June 21st as well. That's got open.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, well, actually, maybe with the amount of shows there is, Maybe we it's a shame we like the Bearus and Nathan Diasha thing, it looks like they won't get to the Olympia, but I think there's always the possibility that some somebody who's been top 10 of the Olympia, say, who's looking to qualify and then doesn't qualify, there's always the chance that can happen, because there's those guys out there that leave it to the last minute thinking they're going to swoop into a show, get a qualification and do another 4 weeks prep and go do the Olympia. That basically one prep instead of 2 preps, or one extended prep, a break, then getting back on another prep for the Olympia, and then risk being burnt out by the time they get to the Olympia. So yeah. Well, I think actually when we actually really, you said Legion and all these other shows in Dubai, I think there's an opportunity for everyone to qualify. And we've got, like I said, we've got M-Pro, we've got Portugal, so I think. I think everyone will get to qualify, and obviously Bonac's qualified now as well, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, the one great thing about Andrew Jack getting his qualification probably this Saturday in Germany at FIBO is that Hunter Labrada might finally get a chance to win the Texas Pro.
Do you know, I asked Andrew, I was chatting back and forth, because we send voice notes back to each other. Yeah. And I said to him, "What are you going to go do the Texas Pro again and win it for the 4th time?" And he just laughed. He didn't give me an answer. He just laughed. He went, no, bro. It's to say, like, I kind of interpret that as like, yeah, maybe we should give somebody else a chance to win that, because like to go win it a 4th year, that means every single Texas Pro there's been, it's all been won by Andrew.
Well, so far he has won all of them, right?
yeah. But also, hang on. Texas Pro. No, there was one. Who won the one in? It was Valier.
Was it Ian? Did Ian win that year?
Ian Valier. Remember Steve Cooklow and Ian Valier. Do you remember that year? All 3 of them looked absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was, and Clayhar was there. So I think, Ian,
that was the best he looked.
So Ian was the first winner, I think.
Right, yeah, okay. Yeah. But also it shows you just when a competitor has a good experience at a show, not just because they've won, but, and also when they're asked back or whatever, or, they've had a good experience, and also, you're familiar with the venue, you're familiar with everyone there. It shows if the promoters really, really look after the athletes, they will come back, even the big names like Andrew.
Yeah, true. I mean, getting back to Hunter, I always felt bad because that's the show I'm sure he wants to win, because they never had a Texas Pro until fairly recently. And that's his home state. He's been there his whole life. To be competing in your home state and keep getting beaten over and over repeatedly by someone who came over from Dubai, it's got to sting. So,
I think he probably will do it this year, and he probably will win, in fairness.
Yeah, he's certainly damn good. He won where did he qualify last year at the show in Italy, right? The Flex Pro, I think it was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Of course it was. Yeah. See, there's always 1 or 2. Sometimes there's 2 pro shows in Italy in like a month. Right. So you're probably going to get Nathan or James Hollinshead or one of those guys, some European pros,
Spain has at least 2 or 3 pro shows a year, don't they? It's all Emilio's.
Yeah, they have Big Man Weekend, M Pro. They used to have the MPC European Pro as well. And I've been to all of them. They're fantastic. They're fantastic shows. But because last year, the M Pro last year, that was when I did the commentary with Lauren and AJ. And that was Bonac's kind of comeback. He beat Beirut. You had Crizo, you had Sasan. The show was up. The lineup was incredible, absolutely incredible. It was just pandemonium backstage.
Wow,
really, really good. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
really good. The only downside to this FIBO show is, as of we're speaking now, there's no live stream.
Oh, come on, guys.
Which is odd because ESN is a major sponsor, and they sponsor the Arnold Classic live stream.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is, but it's unfortunate because we want to be able to watch these pro shows. But I guarantee you guys, keep your phone on Instagram, and I promise you there's going to be tons of people streaming the show.
But the thing is, it's like, it's not like the FIBO is short of money, because I've heard before, like, if you go into some of these certain venues around Europe or in America, sometimes they've got really strict rules and they'll try and fleece you. I remember once one place they wanted just per hall, they wanted €15,000 just to have the live stream, just to be able to do that, put on that facility.
Wow.
They said it would cost €15,000. So 15,000. That could add another pro class.
Sure.
So they, that's extortionate, because they know that, it's like if you you don't like the food on an airplane, what are you going to do? Get out? So yeah, with FIBO, I mean, they've still got time to sort this out. And I think, if they really they brought the pro show back, so they want eyes on it. They want to keep the sponsors happy. They want to keep the exhibitors happy. Yeah. So just spend the freaking money, because I imagine they're not relying on the money from the pro show to make money because of the size of FIBO. It's the biggest expo in the world. I mean, to be honest, I don't like going to FIBO. I went years ago, and my God, it's absolutely enormous. I can't even imagine the Arnold Classic times 5.
No,
it's colossal, mate. It's huge. It's like there's these halls. I mean, you need walking shoes. You need like sneakers, trainers on.
Wow.
Get your Nikes on, because if you have like my posh shoes I like to wear, I mean, you end up with blisters on your feet because it's that big. I mean, it's like, because you think about all those equipment companies that are there. An equipment company wants to exhibit. They ain't gonna have a small stand, because they're gonna want 30 pieces of their equipment on. So it's gonna have to be several thousand square feet per stand, because can you imagine like Panatta and all these other companies that really want to, to exhibit? They need space. They need a lot of space, a lot of gym equipment, because that's basically what FIBO is. It's not as much. There is a lot of supplement stuff there, but like it's a lot of gym, European and international gym, gym equipment companies that kind of want to exhibit, and they have really, really big stands.
Well, let me ask you this: the 5 times size of the Arnold, but is there more walking room? Because the Arnold, a lot of times on Saturday, can get really
space time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I that's why I always like the Olympia Expo over the Arnold Expo, because I mean, we were trying to get to the amateur show, and then sometimes if you weren't taken by through that corridor between the trade stands by the security, we'd have to go through the crowd, sometimes with our equipment, or you'd have a videographer with his equipment trying to get interviews. I mean, to be honest, I get really claustrophobic. I don't like that. It makes me it stresses me out. I'd rather just, I'll be there when I have to be there. But the idea of like, when sometimes you'd be like, okay, I'm going to go around and look around the expo for an hour or so. I'd be like, oh, get me out of here. I just want to go back to the hotel room. We'll get some food, because that's not my idea of fun. Yeah. So, but because it's so busy, I like expos, but the Arnold Expo, way too many people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like when I have to go to the bathroom, and I can see the bathroom, but it takes me 40 minutes to get from here to there, because it's just, you're sneezing and you're smelling everybody's gas, and it's horrible. So.
Oh yeah, and you're bumping into people. Everyone's got those big bags of shit, and because the thing is, we're there, we're working. Do you know what I mean? We want to get from place to place, and sometimes you got to get there quickly, because you got to get the content, because there's only so many hours you can get it. Yeah. So, but usually I used to use that rather than sort of after our work was done, rather than kind of go around and buy shit I don't need. I would usually go back to the hotel and get out, and then get outside and start breathing. So, because it's so like, you feel so claustrophobic,
Yeah. Well, speaking of expos, before we leave, I do want to mention this Euro Muscle show, which has been sponsoring my channel for the past couple weeks. And Giles, you will be there, and Matthew, the promoter, says bringing me out there. So I'm really looking forward to checking out the #1 expo in the Netherlands. And, I've never been there. There's going to be a lot of pros. Ronnie's going to be there. You're going to be there with Ronnie, Lee Priest, Wesley Visser, Samson Dowda, William Bonac. There's going to be a lot of great people there. Every pro division except for Open is going to be featured. So big deal. I'm looking forward to it. It's happening July. It says on the bottom there, July 12th and 13th at the RAI Expo Center in Amsterdam. So
it's a nice expo hall, that as well, and I think it's 42% bigger than it was last year, because last year, I'll be honest, because it was their first year, I wasn't expecting much, and then I kind of rolled in with Ronnie, and we were going into any tournament, and like I said, in tournament, he says, "It's their first year." I went, "Yeah," and he went, "Wow," because to me, I said this to Matthew. I said, it reminded me of how big Body Power, the UK one of the NEC, by year 3, because they grew fast. I mean, I remember going to the first year in 2009, and then the next year it was completely different. And I said, to be honest, I think you're already at the stage where, like I said, the Body Power was by year 3. So he took that as a huge compliment, because obviously a first year and first one, and he's looking to take them all over the world, because it was really, really good. Just the way they did the branding, the advertising, the names they got in. Yeah. Me and Ronnie, like I said, I took Ronnie there, and we had a fantastic experience. It was really, really, really good. I can't wait to go back. So I've just I'm gonna try. I think I need to clone myself, because I've got so much I need to be doing there with Ronnie and Lee, and obviously doing because if they're doing live stream, need to be doing commentary, and of course, doing this, because I was doing the stage interviews. I interviewed Mitchell Hooper, the strongman. I interviewed James Hollinshead, Stefan. Wesley Vistas. I did 2 of them with Ronnie, 2-hour sessions with Ronnie. I mean, that was easy, obviously, because it's and I missed the one with because I was supposed to do the one in the morning with Bonac and Kevin Levroni.
Oh, okay.
And I was busy with Ronnie, so I couldn't make it. And I said, guys, I'm not going to be able to make it. I've got to prioritize Ronnie. I said, because we've got to get there, you know. So I missed that one, but yeah, because obviously Kevin's one of my heroes, and I love William. So
I forgot Kevin's going to be there. Kevin Levroni will be there.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's fantastic. It was really, honestly, really good. I think that's going to absolutely. It's already exploded, but I'm telling you, over the next couple of years, that's really, really going to grow. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see the format they've used. They're going to see that all over the world, because I think Matthew's looking to push this fast.
Not only that, but when was the last time that we actually were face to face in real life instead of on a computer screen? Was it 22 Olympia?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's been
just and I wasn't. Do you know what? I'm gutted that was my last Olympia with MD, because I was not well. I've obviously had my heart surgery in June.
Yeah.
And I was over there and I was struggling. The medications they had me and all the beta blockers giving the lightheadedness. I wasn't my confident normal self. I felt self-conscious. I felt weak, you know, and I didn't feel confident with what I was saying, and it probably reflected in the videos. I did, but that was hard for me, actually. That was hard for me and hard for that to be my last Olympia covering it with MD, because I knew I didn't. Like, remember in 2017 and 18, 19 when we just absolutely smashed the coverage. Yeah, you know, I went home feeling like I felt 100 foot tall when I came home, you know, but. Yeah, that one I was like, Lauren was like, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, you literally just nearly died a few months ago, so don't be too hard on yourself. So, yeah, Olympia. Yeah.
So my last Olympia was 23 Olympia, and it was 6 weeks after my quadricep reattachment surgery.
Shit. Yeah.
So I was still in a leg brace, and I was very slow getting around. But the good thing was my daughter came up from Miami to Orlando, and she spent the first day with me, worked the press. She was there for the press conference. So it was good to have. At least I could say my last Olympia, one of my kids was actually with me and got to be part of the experience. So that was cool.
Good. No, that's good.
Well, that is it, guys. Drop some comments below. Tell me what you think is going to happen at the FIBO show. What's your top 3, your top 5? If you want to speculate, is Vito doing Pittsburgh? Whatever questions, comments. If you want to insult us, that's fine. I usually keep most of them up there regardless, because it's all good. It's all feedback. And that's it. Giles, thank you so much. This was your first experience with the new fiber optic. Looks like it's working very, very well. Nice and crystal clear. So that's it, guys. That is this week's episode of Power Hour. We will see you right here next time. Peace.